Actually, before I do that, how much gas we got? Let's add a little more gas real quick. I don't want it up to the tippity top, but that's as far as I'm comfortable going. Alright, if the camera angle is terrible, I apologize because I just adjusted that. Also, if I sound out of breath, I apologize for that too. I'm in a little bit of a rush, and you can already hear my breathing no matter what on this, or in this helmet. So, let's see if this bike starts without the choke. Just turn the key on and the gas. Yeah, I figured it would probably need a choke this morning. Let me try without one more time. Probably not very nice at 7 in the morning. Alright, I don't have much time to lose here. I got 10 minutes flex time. We're gonna see how this goes here. I didn't bring my trusty screwdriver, so if the fuel and air mix isn't what I want, can't really do anything about it. But this is my first commute on this 1967 Yamaha YR1. I'm guessing, well, I'm certain it's going to be my last commute of the year on this bike as well, because we only have a week, well, last of the school year. I may or may not work in a school. Let's see here. Let me rephrase this. Like I was saying, this is going to be my first ride on this 67 YR1, my first commute, I should say. And it'll likely be my last before the summer. I have, I guess, 2 more weeks of work, and then I'm off for the summer. This bike has been somewhat reliable. It's been real reliable since I fixed it last, but that's usually how these things go, huh? I don't know. I've had all kinds of like fuel leaks and different things like that. But I don't know. I want to take advantage. This is possibly the nicest day before the end of the year weather-wise. Hi, dog. And I don't know. I just, sometimes you go a little crazy. You do stuff that doesn't make a lot of logical sense. I have a Miata and an R6 that would have been pretty dang fun to ride to work or drive to work. But this is what I wanted to do today. So if it breaks down, I'll be all right. I'm not gonna get fired. I have enough time. I can let them know. They can make arrangements for me, but obviously I don't expect to do that. I have to be on a reliable, or either on a reliable bike or in a reliable car at least most of the time going to work. It's in the contract. Must have reliable transportation to work. But I don't know. It's reliable right now, I'll tell you that. I've never not made it to work on this thing. But like I said, this is my first time taking it. So, anyway, that's my game plan. A lot of yapping today, so hopefully you guys enjoy the video. I don't know, I have a lot of really exciting videos coming out this spring and this summer. I have kind of a backlog of like a bunch of good videos to post, so I might end up doing 2 videos a week here. By the time you watch this, I probably will be doing 2 videos a week, but I just want to make sure I have enough content over the, you know, slow period this winter, but we're a long way off from the winter right now. And I say this often, if you have any suggestions for videos, let me know. Oh, another thing I should probably mention, this is a reliable bike. The tires are from 2005, but they've been holding air so far. So, should probably baby them a little more than I have been, but here we are. Soy un hombre loquísimo. Go real gently over that because I don't want to wiggle anything loose inside the carbs. Because if I have any major fuel leak on the way there, it's a problem. On the way home, whatever, you know, I'll wait around for a couple hours and have someone pick me up, but just got to make it to work. Mention I live almost a half hour away from work, so makes it a little trickier than if I were just going around the block, but I think I'll be fine. Got to use hand signals here because I don't have any turn signals yet. Okay, hit neutral there. Weather today. I think it's like 59 and it'll get up to 70 something. hate this part of my commute on my old 1985 Honda Rebel 250 because the top speed on that bike was, I want to say like 80 on paper, which means that I don't know. I'm pretty sure I got it up to like 79. So I don't know what it was on paper, but granted, that's faster than the speed limit on this road. But the problem was, if someone came up beside me, you know, if I had to pass them or whatever, you know, let's say there was a car to my right, or like in this lane, if I went to pass and then someone came up behind me and then they started speeding up, I couldn't like accelerate with them often to get around them. Then I had to like wait and get back over, and it just made me very uncomfortable. But this bike can, you know, cruise at this speed all day. And I think technically, on paper, it should get up to like 105 to 110 miles an hour. If you haven't really watched my other videos about this bike, this is a 1967 Yamaha YR1, like I mentioned. It's a 350cc two-stroke engine, which sounds like a pretty small engine, but for the time, and actually with it being two-stroke, it was actually one of the quicker bikes in 1967, which for today's standards doesn't really say a lot. We'll see if I can get around this Chevy. But yeah, you got to think about, like, with it being two-stroke, there are two combustions for every you know, rotation of the engine, versus the four strokes obviously would be one combustion for every two cycles of the engine, two rotations of the engine, if that makes sense. But yeah, allegedly these bikes could keep up pretty well with the British 650 twins at the time, those four strokes, even though it's a 350cc bike. This was Yamaha's fastest bike at that time as well, but again, that's not saying that much. But these engines were the predecessors of like the RD350 and eventually like the RZ350, and at that time that RD label actually really meant something back in those days. That's race development, and they truly were as close as you could get to the bikes. Well, the production bikes were very similar to the race bikes for those Yamaha RD series. So I don't know. I'm very interested in the history of this particular model. I love it, and I wanted to have one. They're pretty rare. Right now, for example, if you look on Facebook Marketplace, there's only like one for sale in the whole United States as of the time that I'm recording this, and it's all the way out in California. But anyway, I got this one. I got a parts bike, the red one, that I want to put together and make into like a race bike if I can, like a vintage race bike. And then I have a black one that has transmission problems, so hopefully I can get that fixed up at some point as well. And if you're new here, welcome. Love to see you. I do be yapping, I do be cruising. That's what we do. So hopefully you're enjoying. But I'm just in a really good mood today because I'm riding this to work, and so far, you know, knock on wood, it hasn't had any issues. So we'll see. I'm like halfway there already. Out of gear or something. Hopefully the clutch in this one's all right. in the top gear or the next one down. I think I have a gear above this that I can go into. Let's find out. I don't know. Can't tell. Yeah, still got smoke coming out. That's good. Smells great. Nothing like a little two-stroke in the morning to wake you up. At some point I want to own a two-stroke that has the like expansion chambers. Tires still feel good. They must have been built well 20 years ago. For reference, motorcycle tires usually need to be replaced every 5 years or so. So 20 years is very old for motorcycle tires. Also, it's not 0 RPMs. I don't know if there's an issue with this bike or if it was designed this way, but when it's in gear, the tachometer just goes based on the wheel speed, I understand, which is a little weird to me. But like in first gear, well, in any gear, if I'm stopped, it says 0 RPMs, even with the clutch in. And then, like I can rev it. You can see the tachometer didn't really move there because it's just based on the wheel speed. I find that very odd. And again, there's definitely at least one wire that's not connected properly on this bike. So, I don't know if that's just a mechanical issue or what. So this bike's almost certainly not heavy enough to make this light turn green. So we'll see. I might have to use the Pennsylvania straight-on red law to my advantage. So I wasn't sure if I was recording there, but yeah, I might have to use that law to my advantage, or hopefully maybe someone can pull up behind me and get close enough to make this work. So if I do use Pennsylvania straight on, oh, here we go. I don't know if it's because the person was behind me or if it was my weight being enough. Whoa. Brakes are, I don't know, might be user error, but I wasn't stopping as quickly as I wanted to there. Final stretch now. I can walk to work if I have to. Might be like 5 minutes late if I walk from right here. What a beautiful day. Makes up for all the news. Nothing in particular in the news, just the constant depression that is staying informed. Nice to have this thing living again. It was dormant for decades, but it's getting loved again. I mean, it was loved even when it was dormant, but you know what I mean. Bringing it back to life, letting it, you know, love its own life. And there's a lot more work to be done, but I'm very glad I got this bike. Wanted to get a little slower there. So that was the hard part, making it the whole way to work. Hopefully it's not leaking all over itself in the parking lot here. if I can sneak in there. I don't know if I can. You know what? I think I'm gonna back in right there. Wow. See how now the tachometer is accurate once it's in neutral? So that's the most important thing. I want to have the fuel off while I'm inside. All right. Cool. All right. Have a good one.